a whole hour with no slides. Now, Dr. Clay Marsh, who I'm thrilled is here tonight, he knows I can do that without any issue. But let me start that, since we don't have my slides up yet. Let me start and tell you a little bit of my story, because it really shaped who I became, the success that I've had in my career. I grew up in a small little coal mining town, southwestern Pennsylvania, right next to the West Virginia border. Population of this rural coal mining town, 1,000 people. My dad was a coal miner. We lived in half of a little house. The half of the house was probably 900 square feet. That was it. We struggled financially, but I was born with rose-colored glasses on, and I still can make lemonade out of lemons any day. That mental resiliency that I had came in handy on a cold winter day when I was 15 years of age, home alone with my mom when she sneezed, stroked out, and died right in front of me. You can imagine how traumatic that would be for a teenager. I suffered from terrible post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety. And after 4 months of not sleeping, without having nightmares and cold sweats every night, not eating well, not functioning well at school, my family member took me to my family doc and said, do something to help her. There was no mental health counseling in my little rural town. So that doc was very concerned, but did what so many healthcare providers do very quickly today. Got out the prescription pad, wrote a script for Valium, said, give Bern one of these every night. She'll sleep and she'll be just fine. There was no evidence-based cognitive behavior therapy for me. We know that's the first evidence-based line treatment that everybody should get that's struggling with depression, anxiety, and acute stress. I remember taking a Valium that night, and I woke up groggy the next day. And I said, I just got to gut it up and cope. I don't want to take this med anymore. I don't like the way I feel with it. But in the next 4 years, not only did I lose my mom suddenly, I lost a cousin who was like a brother to me following a car accident. I lost the only grandparent I ever knew and loved. And when I was 19, my dad had a massive heart attack. That's a whole bunch for an adolescent. But you know the story, right? What doesn't break us only makes us stronger. And as a result of what I experienced as a teenager, I became passionate to become a nurse, then a pediatric nurse practitioner, then a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and go on and get my PhD so I could develop evidence-based CBT interventions that can be delivered by non-psychiatric providers. Well, I think
we got him. There we go.
Thank you. We should give active applause to IT. That means, yeah. Okay. I just want to disclose my conflicts. I have 7 books. I have 2 companies that disseminate my COPE programs. That's where I grew up, Republic, Pennsylvania. So the saddest part of my story, my mom had a history of headaches for over a year. And my dad kept saying, go to the doctor, figure out what's wrong. Well, she went to her family doc 1 week before she died. Her diagnosis, high blood pressure. Given a prescription for a blood pressure medication that my dad found in her purse after she died. She never filled it. But think about this. 1 out of 2 people in this country with high blood pressure do not have it under control. 60% of Americans have a chronic disease in this country, yet 80% of chronic disease is totally preventable with just a few healthy lifestyle behaviors. So hearing my story, I think you can understand why I'm so passionate about mental health, about wellness and prevention. We spend more money on healthcare in this country than any Western world country, but our health outcomes are at the bottom. It's time for action and time for change. We will always need great sick and crisis care. But unless we begin to shift our paradigm more to one of wellness and prevention, we're not going to move the needle by that much. So how did I get to Buckeye Nation? I was dean of the College of Nursing at Arizona State when I got a call from the chair of the search committee. And Carol said, Bern, we've watched how you've exploded that college in Arizona. We want you to come to Buckeye Nation and do the same. And I said, Carol, I'm very humbled that you thought of me, but I'm not going to leave sunny Arizona and come to Columbus, Ohio. But I had been studying corporate wellness for 3 years, and I was flummoxed at the fact corporations got employee well-being. They were hiring CWOs like crazy. But when I went to search for a chief wellness officer at a university in the country, there were none that I could find. So I'm a big dreamer. And I said, that's my next job. I want to be the first chief wellness officer at a university in the country. I pitched that to Carol. She went back to then our president, Gordon Gee, and she said, Gordon, we might get Bern Melnick here, but in addition to the deanship, she'd want to be a chief wellness officer. And I'm not kidding you. This is exactly what happened. Gordon Gee calls me the next day and says, Bern Melnick, this is the E. Gordon Gee of the Ohio State University. What the Sam Hill is a chief wellness officer. And what would you do if you came to Buckeye Nation and I appointed you in that role? That's how I got to Ohio State. Now, there's a reason, students, I'm sharing that story. So often, we dream big, but we don't risk take, and we don't put our dreams out there. We have to do so much more of that. When you're a big dreamer like me, people often look at you like you have 3 heads, because you're always talking about the vision and where things could go. Clay identifies with this, I know. But when people look at me like I have 3 heads now, I just smile and I say to myself, I'm on the right track, and I keep going. So even before the pandemic, we had a public health epidemic of mental health issues in our children, in our teens, and in our young adults. And then in March 2020, the pandemic struck. Healthcare claims for depression and anxiety tripled. And look how they increased in our adolescents and young adults. 75% of teenagers that suffer with depression also suffer from anxiety. So they're comorbid. But there's a silver lining to that story, because the first line evidence-based treatment for both is cognitive behavior therapy. The sad piece, most don't get it. Suicide is now the second leading cause of death in 10 to 34-year-olds. During the pandemic, this study found 1 out of 4 young adults thought about suicide. And then the rural health disparities of this state and rural states across the country are huge. Suicide rates 2 times higher. Look at the provider shortages. Psych NPs in particular at huge shortages, but also psychiatrists and psychologists. And about 62% of all HRSA designated areas are in the rural parts of the country. So the good news, we've got evidence-based treatment, cognitive behavior therapy. Most people who get depressed and anxious do so because of negative, unhelpful patterns of thinking that developed over the years. By the time a child is 9, their pattern of thinking has largely developed. So we have 6,200 automatic thoughts every day that we don't even know we have. About 70 to 80% of those thoughts are negative. So if we think unconsciously negative thoughts like you flub up on your final exam, and you might think, I should be a better student. I'm stupid, right? How many of you have ever had a thought like that? Yes, they're shaking their head. Yes. But those negative automatic thoughts get us depressed, stressed, and anxious. Well, we've got, as I mentioned, great evidence-based interventions. But here's the problem. It still takes, on average, 15 years to take evidence from research and change practice in the real world. We joked about the 17-year time gap since a famous publication came out in the year 2000. But then a study by Kahn and colleagues came out in 2021 that said, wait, we've gained 2 years in 2 decades. So now it only takes 15 years. At that rate, it's only going to take 150 more years before research is generated and bam, we automatically use it to improve outcomes. I have buttons that say this because we've always done it that way. We have got to slash that sacred cow, really, if we're going to make progress rapidly. So there's been implementation scientists, including me, who have studied why does it take so long? What factors are most important when practice people think about making an evidence-based practice change? So one big issue I want to talk about that's slowing us down. In nursing, we do a lot of research, a lot of great research, but we often measure warm and fuzzy things that the current healthcare system really doesn't care about. We don't tend to measure complications, costs, return on investment for evidence-based changes that we make. We've got to start measuring more so what outcomes, both in our research and in evidence-based practice. And I had to learn that the hard way. I conducted about 8 studies testing my COPE program for parents of premature babies. All of these studies showed if parents got my program, they had less stress, anxiety, depression, less post-traumatic stress disorder. I published my findings, presenting them all over the world. Do you know, after 15 years, not one hospital was using my COPE program until this clinical trial showed a so what outcome. So babies of parents who got COPE went home 4 days sooner, 8 days sooner if they were under 32 weeks. So when I published that data and a cost effectiveness analysis, my phone rang off the hook. Burn, how do we get COPE? How much does it cost? Nobody mentored me to say, as a researcher, if you ever develop an evidence-based program with great findings, how are you going to scale it throughout the country? I had to teach all of that to myself, how to start a company, how to do a business plan. So we have to grow up our researchers to think about scalability right from the get-go. So my other line of research, I was consulting for a child and adolescent inpatient psychiatric unit. I was amazed. The children and teens were getting so many psychotropic drugs. But I said, who's giving these children cognitive behavior therapy? And the psychiatrist said, well, we have social workers. They do talk therapy, but I'm not sure it's cognitive behavior therapy. I'm like, this has so much research behind it. And the psychiatrist said to me, well, Bern, then you do it if you think this is really going to help. That's where I started developing my COPE program. I also, besides 7 manualized cognitive behavior therapy sessions, I added nutrition and physical activity because I wanted to take a more holistic approach to mental health. In CBT, my program, CBT therapists teach how you think directly relates to how you feel and how you behave. I firmly believed if I gave this program to children and teens, we would see all of these positive outcomes. So I received a wonderful grant from the National Institute for Nursing Research to test this program in a clinical trial. A lot of the program focuses on catching, checking, and changing your thoughts. So here's what I'd like to ask all of you to do in the next 30 days. When you feel your mood has changed for the worse, you're stressed, you're anxious, you're depressed, I want you to stop and say to yourself, what was just going through my mind? Is that type of thinking helpful? Is it true? And do I have the evidence to back it up? Chances are you don't. So you got to flip the negative thought around to a positive. But just like behavior change takes 30 to 66 days, so does thought change. It does not happen overnight. Mindfulness is integrated in this program. Goal setting, self-monitoring is implemented. And after every session, there are skills building activities because you have to put what you're learning into everyday practice. This grant funded, we taught teachers in the high schools how to deliver this in their health classes. Compared to the control group, the teens who got COPE, they engaged in physical activity substantially more. Their academic outcomes were so much better. Depression was better in the kids who started the study, who were depressed. So, with all of those findings, we continue to follow the kids for another year. And we were pleasantly excited when we saw body mass index of the kids who got COPE compared to the other classrooms that got a placebo attention control program. It was better. In fact, no overweight teens in the COPE classes crossed over to obesity. So we were really excited about these findings. A year after I published this clinical trial, I got a call from the National Cancer Institute, and they said, Byrne, your findings are fabulous. And I'm thinking to myself, why isn't the National Institute of Mental Health calling me too? Why is it cancer? It's because obesity is now linked to a lot of different types of cancer. So they said, send us all your materials. If we feel it was rigorously conducted, the trial, if dissemination is easy for others to implement, we will designate it a research-tested intervention program. That happened, and now this program is scaling like crazy all across the country. So once I did the 15-session COPE, I said, why don't I just pull out the 7 CBT sessions for children and teens and young adults who are depressed or anxious? Because if primary care, nurse practitioners, pediatricians can deliver this in primary care settings, we could help so many more kids who aren't getting any treatment. So I've got 25 studies behind the 7-session program now, shows all the same thing. Drops depression, anxiety, stress, suicidal ideation. And once I figured out how providers could get reimbursed to deliver this 7-session program in primary care, it has spread like wildfire. It makes my heart so happy to know the 30 years that I devoted in my research career to develop programs like this are actually being used in the real world to make a difference. I did a cost analysis again. We need to do so much more of that in our work. That shows if we prevented 10,000 hospitalizations for depression for children and teens, we could save the healthcare system $146 million a year. So COPE's being used now, all 50 states, rural, non-rural settings. It's being used in schools, universities as a preventive program. And we're just finishing this clinical trial. We adapted COPE for women suffering while they're pregnant with anxiety and depression. So I'm going to end by saying, we wouldn't send divers into a deep ocean without an oxygen tank. How can we send our children, teens, college students throughout life without equipping them with the evidence-based skills that we know work. Of late, last year, I just got funded to digitalize my COPE program for nurses. So we have a clinical trial going on now across the United States to prevent suicide in nurses because it's so much higher than the general population. Don't give up on your dreams, everybody. It took me 10 years, flights to New York City every year to try and convince the Helene Fold Health Trust to give me $6.5 million to launch the first National Institute for Evidence-Based Practice. What happens if I would have stopped year 7, year 8? You've got to stay focused on your dreams. You've got to risk take, and you got to persist through the character builders until they come to fruition. When I was at Arizona State, I went there and everybody's saying, Vern, you got so many big dreams. They're never going to come to fruition. You think we're going to get a new building. We'll never get a new building here. 5 years into my deanship, this is an oil painting that alums bought me that said, Vern, we are so sorry. We didn't believe in your big dreams. Please forgive us. Skeptics say that'll happen when pigs fly, but positive deviants, big dreamers, say pigs can fly. So thank you.
That was so good. I have a gift for you.
I'm glad my voice held up.
You did. You did fantastic.
Did I go over?
Wonderful. Thank you so much. At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Roger Carpenter, who is director of our PhD program, and he is going to present our awards.
Roger, she just sent me the other stuff. Let me find the right one. And take that. Slide. There we go.
I will now present the 2024 Student Award recipients. The CRNA Award for Excellence, Hannah Newsom. The PhD Award for Excellence, Kimberly Irwin. The DNP Award for Excellence, Melissa Fannin Wisner. The BSN Awards for Excellence, the senior student, Jack McDade. The BSN Award for Student Excellence, the junior student, Isabella Hayes. The BSN Award for Excellence, the sophomore student, Haley Stevens. The BSBA to BSN Award for Excellence, Taylor Sargent. The Dr. Patsy Hessen Haslam Public Health Nursing Award, Kelsey Lesher. The PhD Alumni Award for Leadership, Patrick Murphy. The DNP Alumni Award for Leadership, Sarah Hinnant. The MSN Alumni Award for Leadership, Virginia Ford. The BSN Alumni Award for Leadership, Aiden Slusser.
Tonight, we are also welcoming our new inductees into the Alpha Rho chapter of Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society for Nursing. Sigma members demonstrate excellence in scholarship and exceptional achievements in nursing. It is truly an honor to be part of such a respected and progressive organization. Just on a personal note, I would like to say to our inductees tonight to please take the opportunity to get involved in this organization. It is a wonderful, wonderful organization and quite an honor to be a part of it. Personally, I had the opportunity to serve in a number of leadership roles within Sigma as chapter president, as 2 terms as a regional coordinator. I also served 4 years on the board of directors, and then I also was the liaison to the United Nations. There are so many resources that Sigma Theta Tau has, so I really do encourage you to stay involved, get involved, take advantage of those leadership opportunities, and I congratulate you for this honor. At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Alexis Hicks, who's president of our Alpha Rho chapter of Sigma Theta Tau.
Good evening. I'm Alexis Hicks. I am the president of the Sigma chapter, and I want to welcome everyone to the induction ceremony for the Alpha Rho chapter of Sigma. Thank you very much for coming and celebrating this special occasion with us. The names that you see here are of those who serve on Alpha Rho board, and many of them are here with us tonight as well. So if we could give them a round of applause. For more than 90 years, Sigma has been recognizing and celebrating excellence in scholarship, leadership, service within nursing and midwifery. The Honor Society, today known as Sigma, was founded as Sigma Theta Tau in 1922 by 6 nursing students at Indiana University. From those 6 founding members, our organization has grown to more than 135,000 active members and more than 560 chapters in over 100 countries around the world. Sigma also collaborates with several global organizations to improve the health of the world's people, including representation at the United Nations. This offers members the opportunity to extend their reach outside of their own communities. And we are excited and happy and proud of all these that will be inducted here tonight. And we want to welcome our new inductees into this diverse and global membership. We can clap if we want to, you know. Sigma members are leaders at all levels of the healthcare industry. The society only extends membership to students in baccalaureate or graduate level programs who have demonstrated superior academic achievement, academic integrity, and professional leadership potential, and to nurse leader candidates exhibiting exceptional achievements in nursing. Our membership includes top-notch nursing executives, clinicians, educators, researchers, policymakers, entrepreneurs, and others. You are among the distinguished group of names. You're a distinguished nurse, student, and now a professional. You have met or exceeded the rigorous standards required to receive an invitation to join Sigma, and you truly deserve our congratulations. Our founders chose the Greek letters Sigma, Theta, Tau, taken from the Greek words meaning love, courage, and honor, as they believe them to be the enduring values that are the root of our nursing profession. Our crest, which adorns your membership certificate, symbolizes these enduring values, reminding us of our commitment to wisdom and discernment as represented by the eye, service, professional endeavor, and strength of leadership as represented by the pillars of stone at the right and the left, and knowledge as represented by the lamp. Our key, embedded in the membership pin, reminds us of our change to uphold love, courage, and honor, and is a symbol of scholarship. The cup denotes the satisfaction of professional life. The circle with its 6 stars represents our 6 founders. The lamp is the lamp of knowledge, and the letters in black represent our charge. Remember that our key symbolizes your commitment to nursing excellence. The purpose of this ceremony is not only to honor you as a new member and celebrate your successes, but it also serves as our pledge to support you throughout your nursing career and to be a lifelong resource for you. At this time, we will receive into membership these outstanding new members. Inductees, please feel free to recite this pledge with me. Please accept the privileges and responsibilities of Sigma membership by repeating after me. I accept membership in Sigma Theta Tau International. You can really say it if you'd like, so I'm not all alone. And I pledge to fulfill its commitment to nursing excellence, knowledge, service, and leadership throughout my career. And then you, and that is our pledge to helping others. So I now, without further ado, I do want to call up the members that will be helping me. Laura Vollmer is our vice president. She'll come up. Dr. Marion Reven is one of our counselors, and Gina Greathouse is also one of our counselors. New members will be recognized as we read the names, and they will then officially become members of our Alpha Rho chapter. If you guys want to go ahead and come up. We got a lot of them. You ready?
Ready when you are.
All right. Our first one is Jonathan Barber. Brooke Belcher. Benjamin Davis. Robin Elkins. Lindsay Ellison. Scott Fankhauser. Madison Goff. Kinsey Gold. Emily Huffman. Alyssa Coer. Hannah Coons. Donna Leonard. Crystal Martin. Haley Maynard. Hannah Mooney. Kimberly Moore. Corianne Nimsick. Delaney Palmer. Anna Marie Pintai. Parker Rohrbaugh. John Solkowski. Ella Tingler. Skylar Webb. Sarah Hennant. Isabella Haynes. Taylor Sargent. Congratulations to these new Sigma members. You may be seated. Now that you are official members of Sigma, the opportunities to become involved, to grow and develop as leaders, and to contribute to the nursing profession are virtually endless. We welcome you into this prestigious and global network of nurses working every day to change lives and advance healthcare. Thank you.
So we are coming to the end of the program. However, there are a few acknowledgments that I would like to make. First, I would like to acknowledge the students who have been honored with awards this evening. These are students who value learning and have put time and energy into excelling in their courses. They are the future and the essence of what we honor tonight. The future and the essence of what we honor tonight. And my dear students, know that everyone here in this audience wishes you all the best as you move forward and continue to excel in nursing. Let's just give those dear students. Next, I would like to acknowledge the committee who makes this event possible. I will read their names. You just hold your applause. Would you please stand when I read your name? Tina Antle-Keener, who is co-chair. Roger Carpenter. Greg Cave. Pamela DeRiggi. Wendy Holderin. And Brandy Toothman. Are you all here? Are you all here? Good. This is a wonderful, responsible, working together committee who makes this event possible. We owe them a large debt of gratitude, believe me. And so Dean Halsey has already recognized the School of Nursing faculty. So now here is what, there are emeritus faculty here. Would you kindly stand? Oh, emeritus faculty, look at them. Look at them. Yes. Yes. These are retired faculty who continue to contribute to the School of Nursing. We are so glad you came to be with us tonight. Lastly, I would like everyone in this auditorium who is an alum of this School of Nursing, who has a degree from this School of Nursing, to stand. Every one of you stand, everyone, all over. All over. Look at them. Look at them. It is so good to have you with us. You have built and are building. You have built and are building the foundation of this School of Nursing. And you are loyal mountaineers, which is good. And we thank you. So, in closing, we have come to the close of this time of honoring achievements. Achievements rooted in scholarship and learning that will make a difference in the lives of the people we serve. Tonight, you witnessed a lecture. You witnessed a lecture that showed you how to pivot. She showed you how to pivot in the moment when she needed to. In the moment when she needed to. The slides weren't here. No. What did she do? She took it and she stayed right with it and engaged you. And so the other thing, you are invited to dream big. And you heard that You heard that in the lecture. Lastly, you were encouraged to be a positive deviant. Yes, you witnessed, my dear audience, you witnessed the living of a positive deviant tonight. And I invite you to take that with you. So then in closing, you have been present to acknowledge student achievements that represent awards of honor and celebration, and also induction into Sigma Theta Tau. We thank everyone for being with us, and we invite you to the reception outside the auditorium where we can continue the celebration. So would the students please leave first? You may leave first. Yes, we always think that's a good thing to do so we can get those pictures out there. And so everyone have a nice evening. Good night.